Are you struggling with consistency? The swing sequence may be where the problem lies. Today, I'm going to break down the swing sequence and how you can get power and control with ease when you understand what needs to move and how the wrists work. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a free swing resource that's going to help you refine the movements that you need to do and the drills that give you the best results. There are some common swing mistakes when it comes to the sequence. Number one is basically one of the most frustrating, most common we often see is from the top, basically over the top, kind of coming over the top this way, overpowering the upper body without any sort of kinetic sequence like you would if you were throwing the ball. Number two is rushing the downswing, meaning we get to the top and we just rush. We either panic or we're trying to get too much speed out of it. So yes, we might try and move faster. There's no natural pattern of movement that you would do in many other things in life. Number three is poor weight transfer, meaning we either hang back on the trail foot, we either move too much and we're hanging back here, or we don't have any weight transfer at all and we just sort of stay put. You know, there's no natural movement. If I was throwing something, I would transfer the pressure, the movement, the sequence. In a golf swing, too many of you are focused on just trying to hit the ball, that the sequence stops, which kills all of your power and consistency. The wrists play a very important factor into the sequence. Doesn't mean they control everything, but having an awareness of what causes a couple of issues, such as flipping the wrists, okay? Where we're not holding onto that angle and we're flipping through. Why does that flipping occur? It's easy for me to just hold those wrists longer, but my body still hasn't had a good sequence. So if I flip, I'm not going to get good contact, okay? If I don't flip, for example, but I don't have a decent swing sequence, okay, I'm just going to push it through and I might get the correct measurements, but there's no natural pattern. There's no speed, there's no good delivery. Likewise, if I find that in my sequence I end up casting the club too much here, if this happens, I have to compensate in my sequence to make sure that this gets back at the ball, no matter how I do it. And you can try and think about complicated technique, but if I'm here, if I have done this casting action in my downswing, already my sequence is stuffed. I have to manipulate it in a weird manner just to make contact, let alone efficient contact. So the hack motion is just able to show us exactly where we are and what kind of angles we need to have here to help with a good swing sequence. You need to remember this order of sequence. The sequence is going to be, especially from the top of the swing and the downswing, it's going to be lower body, all right? We have to apply pressure and shift. You're not just going to use the upper body and the arms. We're going to be stuffed. But having an understanding and awareness of like, okay, my feet have to feel alive. I need to use the ground. This, my lower body, my knees, my sort of hips, my glutes, everything has to move first. From the top of the swing, that's what I want to happen. And in actual fact, to make this a little bit better, you're going to activate the lower body just a fraction before you complete your backswing. So you're going to get to about here, then I'm firing the lower body. I don't want you to get too bogged down in exactly what. I want you to try and find that mind-muscle connection to think, okay, there's my quads or whatever. I can feel it in my feet, in my hips. I'm activating them. They're alive. That's step one. What's the next part? It's going to be the torso here. The torso is a big part of the engine, all right? This is what's happening. The engine is moving here, but after the legs, we have the torso move through. If I'm not doing anything with the arms, my torso is going to do that through the swing. That's how I'm going to get into a good impact. If at any point the arms out race or they cast here, I'm not able to move the torso effectively. You can see just there, I'm throwing the club, I'm having to manipulate. So step 2 is the torso. What's next? It's the arms. The arms are moving. Let's forget the club for a moment. So I'm swinging to the top, legs, torso, then I'm actively allowing those arms to lower down. I'm aware that they're happening in stage 3. They're not happening first. They're not happening quickly. It's legs, torso, arms. Legs, torso, arms. But we need to add on the club. And the club is the 4th step of the golf swing sequence. To the top, lower body, torso, arms, and then finally the club. We're using our wrists to apply the force into the club at the correct time. If the wrists happen too early, we cast, right? If the wrists happen a little bit too early here, or maybe about the right time, but the lower body, the upper body have stalled, we're going to flip. So it has to be lower body, torso, arms, club, and all the way through. When you master that basic pattern, and when you understand that and apply it as not just a tip, as a principle, I guarantee you're going to be more consistent. And when you master the art of applying the wrists at the correct time, you're going to do wonderful things with every single shot you hit. One more thing. A lot of people struggle with understanding that the golf swing is one complete movement. You can watch videos on YouTube and you're focusing on takeaway, backswing, downswing, impact, all these separate kind of compartments of a golf swing. It serves a purpose to work on them at once. However, we have to remember that it is one complete movement. You cannot play good golf when you're thinking about certain positions. It has to be one big complete movement. Think of Scotty Scheffler. He's only choosing his target and doing one big movement. He's not trying to compartmentalize every aspect of his swing. It's one reason why even with a slightly kind of quirky swing, it's very, very effective because it's one complete motion. Knowing that, every practice swing you take, try and, if you need a little list on the floor to say lower body, torso, arms, wrists, lower body, torso, arms basically, wrists, all the way through. The more you can reiterate that, the better you're going to be. One way to emphasize this is to, as you make a swing, really feel like the club is heavy, that your arms are heavy, that basically the arms are following what the body do. Because if you find that you snatch your takeaway, if you find that your swing feels very handsy, let's take them out. And it doesn't mean being rigid, but I want you to really feel like, okay, my lower body moves first, my torso, and nothing is happening with the arms. They're just following the sequence that my body is making. Do you want to take your game to the next level? Well, I've put together a free resource that gives you the drills and tips that you have to follow to get the swing sequence that you need and for the wrists to be working much better so you can be more consistent easier. All you need to do is follow the link in the description below.